Welcome to Trivial Debates.
Get you into jobs.
High school diplomas were something.
Yeah, I get you lots of things.
Not really, but it's better.
Sure it does.
Yeah?
Gets you the women.
Gets you the women, then you get the money.
Man, I got a high school diploma.
Then you get the power.
Exactly.
All right. Welcome to this week's edition of Trivial Debates. We have some awesome new debates this week. Each week, our panelists will be judged and scored on their arguments for facts, passion, and creativity. Our panelists this week are...
The one, the only, Dave Mader. Follow me on Twitter at SuperDaveMader.
Are you done?
Shameless plug.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
How would you point your mic at your mouth?
No.
Verdone.
Yeah, it's me.
All right. He's a newcomer on this show.
He's an old friend, but a newcomer, Ryan Verdone.
I don't have a first name, Dave. What are you doing?
And
Chris Seymour here as well.
Sweet.
Okay.
Chris Seymour, the legend, in the hizzy.
Okay.
Wearing his LA Ming shirt. And we also have Kristen here as a fact checker.
Yep, we do. Here's how the show works. There are 6 rounds plus a speed round by our top 2 panelists. Our categories are movies, television, music, sports, history, and a wild card. We want people to be passionate about their arguments, but not personally mean to one each other. Although if you are personally mean to one another, I won't stop you.
We want to be passionate?
Passionate.
Okay. So we want to be passionate, but not personally mean to one another.
Although if you are personally mean to one each other, I won't stop you.
Well, he won't care if we're personally mean, so it doesn't really matter.
Keep in mind you can also skip to a new debate by looking at the time indexes in the description and going to the battles that interest you the most. Subscribe to our iTunes feed and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and Instagram. Whether you're listening on the iTunes or watching the YouTube version, all links and information can be found in the description of our website, www.trivialdebates.com. Let the battle begin!
The battle's beginning, everyone.
Ding, ding,
All right,
ding.
let's do it.
This is where we fight.
All right. So, first topic, movies. What is the biggest movie controversy? I'm going to start with you, Chris.
On this one, I went with The Interview. Came out a couple years ago.
That was a really big controversy.
There was a big controversy about this movie.
The Interview. What the hell's that?
You don't remember this
Let
movie?
me explain
Dave?
it.
Yeah, explain it to me.
Okay, this is the movie starring Seth Rogen, where they went over to North Korea basically to do an interview with Kim Jong-il. And
right.
by the end of the movie, they ended up killing him.
It was controversial to the
Kim
North
Jong-un.
Koreans.
It was very controversial to the North Koreans. And
Not so much to
Supposedly.
the Western
I don't see
world.
why it matters because they censor all their media anyway.
You know what, though? It caused a huge controversy over here because Sony was actually set to release this movie in October of 2014, and they didn't. And they didn't because they were threatened by North Korea back in June. North Korea was saying if they release this
By
movie...
North Korea, you mean that guy.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un. Whatever his name is.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, we know that guy. The fat-looking Asian guy.
Yeah.
Crazy fat-looking Asian
Crazy fat-looking Asian
Funny
guy.
that he's Asian considering he's from North Korea.
Yeah, and he's like the only fat guy in the country, probably.
I don't think that's true at all.
Well,
No,
I
it
do
is
think
true.
it is
It
true.
is,
It is
absolutely.
true. I like how can other North Koreans get food? Really?
Through the guy that's eating it all.
Like
That's why he's fat.
he's the guy who's eating all of it.
Okay.
So-
Anyways, they end up killing him by the end of the movie, and it caused a lot of controversy because Sony was planning to release it in October, but because of the threats from North Korea, they didn't actually they didn't release it.
Not in the theaters. They put
Not
it
in
on
theaters.
Netflix.
Well, thanks for helping. I was getting to that point. What they did, instead of releasing it in October, they pushed the date back to December, and then finally they just said, "Fuck it, we're not releasing it in theaters at all," and it went straight to DVD and straight to Netflix. And surprisingly enough, the movie still made $40 million without being in theaters.
Actually, probably because of the controversy.
It was probably
the publicity
exactly why.
generated by the
Publicity,
controversy
yeah,
helped the movie.
Like
Yeah,
it,
for sure.
it's
Didn't they
still.
say they got hacked too?
Well, what North Korea was actually threatening that they were going to start hacking the theaters if the theaters started showing it. So I think that did cause quite a bit of controversy over here as well, because you know what, Canadians and Americans are saying like, what the fuck, we can watch whatever we want to. Like, we don't need North Korea telling us what we can watch.
I think it was more propaganda.
I wouldn't even consider it controversy. I consider it terrorism. If the North Koreans are threatening to hack theaters and this is causing the theaters to be afraid to show a movie because of repercussions, then that's terrorism and that's an invasion of our liberties.
Well, and
Sure.
that's the whole thing. And then eventually Sony did decide to release the movie, and they did release it on Netflix and DVD. And North Korea didn't stop them from, releasing the movie altogether, which was their original plan.
They don't
and
release
nothing
any movies, let alone this one.
And
so
nothing happened. So
yeah,
nothing happened. So it
Did they
became
threaten to shoot-
controversy.
Didn't they threaten to shoot missiles as well?
You know what?
They do
The
that
thing
all the
about
time
North
to
Korea is
everybody.
they do that every day. So
Yeah.
threatening to shoot missiles for North Korea is nothing new.
It's gonna be on the topic.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Verdone. What did you pick?
Oh, I'm gonna say the new Ghostbusters movie for
Is
sure.
that, is that a controversy just because so many people think it's gonna suck?
No, just because of the cast.
Some of the cast is good.
Sure.
Like Melissa McCarthy's in there.
I wouldn't say she's good.
Kristen Wiig,
Well,
or no?
So the controversy is what? That they recast all these roles with women?
Yeah.
It's a shitstorm, I'll give you that. I've never seen people so determined to hate a movie on the outset of this movie as they are with this one.
I don't know if I would
Right.
call this controversy though, or I would just call it like case of a bad movie making decision.
But you haven't seen the movie yet. How do you know it's bad?
I don't know that it's bad.
But everyone's assuming
I
it's
think
bad.
everyone's
Yeah,
assuming
I
it's
know
because
it's
it's
gonna
like
be bad.
riling people up. That's kind of like the definition of that's why I allowed it. Is that it's kind of like the definition of controversy is to like rile people up and get them like discussing all over the news and stuff.
Getting them all riled up.
Exactly.
Is that the definition? All right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my controversy. 1989, they're finally making a Batman movie. They're bringing Batman to the silver screen. You know, everyone has like the comic book world. Those people who are more casual fans who just might be familiar with the Adam West Batman, they have certain expectations coming into this. Who's going to be the new Batman? Is it going to be like a Mel Gibson? Is it going to be one of the other leading actors of the time? Like they threw out Robert Redford and a lot of other notable actors. They ended up casting Michael Keaton in the role. And now,
Which is a fantastic
27
choice.
years later, here
Yeah, I
we
don't see where he's going with this.
well, 27 years later, we totally accept that Michael Keaton is great for that part. But at
Around the time, yeah.
this was the internet rage, similar to what Verdone's got with his Ghostbuster stories, before there was an internet. And people lost their minds. They're like, Mr. Mom is going to be Batman. Beetlejuice is going to be Batman. Are you nuts? Like, that's not who they envisioned as being Batman. Then Tim Burton made the movie. It came out, made a ton of money, became a cult phenomenon in its own right. Kind of started the superhero movie genre, depending if you consider Christopher Reeves to kind of have done that before, or not.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first time we had seen a superhero movie not be so campy, not be so cartoonish. It was kind of a real gritty world. That's what Tim Burton gave us, and that's why he cast Michael Keaton.
Whoa.
But at the time, it was a huge controversy. They had articles and internet rage before there was an internet, and that's why I think it's the.
They can't have internet rage before there's an internet.
Well, that's
rage.
the thing.
Yeah, they can't do that.
But they
was
did.
street
But
rage.
They did. They kind of invented the genre. if
So
you
were
will.
people like out on the
down.
streets like pumping their fists and being
Yeah,
mad
they
about
were.
this?
They were
Is that
writing.
what they were
They were
doing?
writing angry
They were
Right.
like,
letters.
ooh, you guys.
They were. They were writing angry letters, Chris.
Right.
It was a shitstorm.
I'm not sure that it was. Because
Well-
you know what? I remember that movie coming out quite well, and I don't remember any problem around it. I remember going and enjoying it as a kid, and I was like,
When
this
you
is a
heard
great
Michael
movie.
Keaton was gonna be Batman, didn't you pause at that at the time?
At the time, I didn't even know who Michael Keaton was, and I didn't care.
That was the other problem. They cast somebody who was a relative unknown.
Well, no, I think people knew Beetlejuice.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
'Cause that was out maybe a year or two before.
probably.
So
Yeah.
I consider it the prototypical nerdgasm in terms of getting angry at movies. And
I was only like 14, and this question was about controversy. Like
I don't
Verdone
really
gives
see
us
the controversy
Verdone
there.
gives us something about casting girls. He gives us something about casting Michael Keaton. And like my controversy could have started a war.
Your controversy's bullshit.
It could have started a war.
Your controversy is what? Like that the
My movie never got released in theaters. Both your guys as well.
It did get released in theaters. That.
All right, Verdone, you have
Yours
anything
is more
to add?
propaganda.
Yours is propaganda and terrorism.
That's controversy.
Yeah, I guess.
Verdone, do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay, then I'm afraid you didn't give I'm gonna ask the other two to give a 30-second.
Am I out? Is that
No.
what you're saying?
No,
No,
you're
I'm
not.
out.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll tell you more about Mr. Mom becoming Batman.
Okay, yeah, I think Verdone is out for the first round. You just didn't provide enough evidence to support
Sure.
your opinion.
Okay.
Verdone's new to the show.
Yeah.
I think that while Michael Keaton cast as Batman was great, and North Korea threatening with the interview was definitely really harsh, I definitely think it has to go to Chris for the first round.
Thank you, Eamon.
Fuck. I can hear Jody spitting in his grave and he's not even dead.
Well, wait till Jody listens to this episode.
I like how
He's gonna
every
hate it.
time
Yeah.
Chris is on an episode that Jody's not going to be there to stop Chris, he's always worried. He always messages us and goes, "Who else is on this episode? Who's
he's-
hosting? I need to know."
I need to know because someone's got to be there to stop Chris.
Yeah, because if Chris wins, the whole world will unravel. It'll
implode.
Black will become white, night will become day, and it will be the end of everything we know.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
What is he worried about?
All right, we're gonna go on to the next round.
Television?
Yes. The show Community. What is the best episode? And we're gonna start with Verdone.
What was
You
that
have
one?
it?
What was that one that I said?
You said the timeline one, the remedial
Yes, that
chaos.
one.
Verdone's not going to win this episode. He can't even remember his own answers. What the hell chance does this guy have of winning? Why? Who invited him on this show?
Verdone's got an unorthodox approach.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
I got this.
And why did you pick yours?
Because I thought it was the best one.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right, you're not picking up the mic.
Is there anything else you can tell us about it?
Nope.
Why is it better than the rest?
Because I said so.
Uh-oh.
Stone Cold said so.
All right.
I feel this is a battle between me and you, Dave.
Yeah.
I feel
All right,
it's
That
Sorry.
shouldn't be. I'm
We're gonna
right.
go to
You guys
you.
are totally wrong.
We're gonna go to you.
My favorite episode of Community is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's the episode where it features Fat Neil, the character who is, he's feeling down upon himself, being ridiculed. It's done in this really kind of magical way with this narration that gives you this old gothic sense of things. Can you stop chewing into the microphone?
Can you guys pass me a Frito?
pointed it in my face. That's why I had him down.
Yeah. Not only do I think this is the best episode of Community, I think this is one of the best half hours of television ever. I think that this really is a brilliantly done episode. It features the Fat Neil character. Them trying to make him feel better by playing this game of Dungeons and Dragons. And in the process, Pierce, played by Chevy Chase, becomes this ultimate villain who sets out to really undo the group because they're excluding him. I love it because it's a fantastic characterization of Abed. Showing how ruthless he is in his interpretation of pop culture and games, and as the dungeon master, him having to be impartial, even though he's part of this group of friends, to let Pierce do his thing, let the study group do their thing, and how it all kind of blows up and becomes this amazing fun story.
Can I
in
say
the
I
process.
loved Chang in that episode?
Oh, Chang is the dark elf?
Yeah.
I am Brutalictops, the magician! Magic
And then
user, baby!
Yeah. And,
Oh, right
yeah.
here. I attack Darkface! I attack Darkface!
Yeah.
So many great lines in that episode. So much fun. Beat for beat, it's the best episode of Community and possibly one of the best episodes of television ever.
All right. We're gonna go to Chris.
Okay, well, here's my answer to this question because I've never watched this show.
You're out. I win.
I'm gonna have to say that there's no good episodes, but because if
You're fucking.
I have a reason.
You're
You know,
done.
I might
have a
agree with you
reason.
on that one.
I have a reason behind this, and I'd like to. I have more to say. I'm just not gonna end it at none. I'm gonna still try and win this round. I'm gonna say.
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
I'm gonna say that if I've never watched this show, then it can't be a good show.
You don't
because
watch
I've
any
watched-
shows. You have
Because-
no business in the television round.
But my favorite episode of Married with Children is when Kelly is trying to collect all the K's because she needs like 100.
we're not talking Married with Children. Why are we talking about Married with Children?
Because I want to tell you a favorite episode of one of an actual good show. So I
Okay, I'm gonna have to give this to Daddy. You hands down won that.
Oh, man,
which
you
not
had
something
it.
you hear very often.
come on, I was so close. I was so close on this one. I was
talking about Married with Children.
I was really close on this one, I think.
Like there was an episode where Katie Seagal slept with Joel McHale on Sons of Anarchy. That was like a crossover between Community and Married with Children, kinda. But no.
Well, now on to the music round. And the music question is, if you could bring a singer back to life, who would you bring back and why? We're going to start with Daddy.
Well, this one was easy for me. It would be Elvis Presley. And why? Because he's the fucking king of rock and roll. He started it all. He was the first sex symbol.
He didn't
first,
start it all. Fuck
He
that.
started it all.
No,
he
didn't.
was there in the cultural revolution of rock and roll in the 1950s. He spoke to a generation. He brought black music to the white mainstream. He was a god. He
Is that
was,
so, Dave? Can you answer me one question about Elvis? How many songs did he write?
He wrote no songs. He wasn't.
There you go.
He wasn't a songwriter. What's the point? Doesn't
Touche.
matter. I don't like him. It was for his voice that I liked him, not his songwriting
I mean,
ability.
he did have a pretty
You
good
might
voice.
choose to tarnish a musician because they're not a music writer. I think that that's ridiculous. I think that that's as ridiculous as saying like an actor isn't good in the part because they didn't write the movie. It's stupid.
The actor makes the part.
The actor makes the part.
Yes.
Like the actor just like a musician plays that instrument. Elvis plays his instrument. It's his voice, and his voice was
Really? He
unique.
doesn't play the guitar?
No, he didn't. He played a couple chords.
He can play the guitar. actually. He's
that's
not
a fallacy.
good.
No,
He's
he
not
was
good.
very bad.
We're going to go on to Chris next.
Okay, this was an easy one for me as well. Dave went with the what they call the king of rock and roll. I'm going with the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
You want to bring him back from the dead?
Yes.
So it's going to be Thriller.
What are we going to get out of a resurrected Michael Jackson?
You know what? Michael Jackson died too young. Okay, Elvis died.
How young did he die?
Elvis died at the age of like 42.
Yeah,
and Michael Jackson didn't die until he was like 55.
I know, but Mike.
So he
okay.
died too young?
Yes. What I'm saying is that I personally believe Michael Jackson had a lot more to offer to the world than Elvis. Elvis, when he died, he was basically done anyways. Nobody cared about him anymore.
That is not even true. That is not even true. Like
That's totally true. I believe that.
By that time, this guy was already fat and bloated. Michael Jackson was just getting started. He was still on the top of his game. He was still touring.
not at the top
he
of
was
his
still
game.
touring.
He was so not at the top of his game.
He
If
was still
anything,
touring.
Elvis
Yeah.
was way more successful in his 40s than Michael Jackson was, certainly.
Michael Jackson was more successful when he was 5 than Elvis was when he was 40.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
because he was
granted,
Jack
because he
Nicholson.
came into the business at a young age, and Elvis didn't until he was much later in life. And they grew up in different eras too. But for the same, okay, what is Michael Jackson going to bring back to the world? Like more child molestation and like creepiness?
Nobody
Like,
can ever prove that.
Well, I suspect it's true.
But what will Elvis bring back
It
to the
doesn't
world?
mean that I can't enjoy a Michael Jackson song. I love Michael Jackson.
What
One of the best ever. But can he hold a torch to fucking Elvis? Not even
No,
close.
definitely.
And if Elvis came back, he would be a force for good.
I
would
would
he do?
I would
Right.
rather. You know what? It's the question's about who you would rather bring back to life, and who would I rather see in concert? I would rather see a Michael Jackson concert than to see an Elvis Presley concert. I don't want to see Elvis up there singing to all the girls and being all sappy.
And out of
I
both
want to
of
see
those,
Michael Jackson
I
singing
would
Thriller.
rather
I want to see him
see
singing Beat It. I want to see
Jimi
him dancing
Hendrix.
around.
Question.
I want to see his costumes. I want to see.
All right, question.
I have a question for the host. If we bring them back to life, are they the age that they are when they died, or are they any age we choose for them?
They're the age they are when they died.
Yeah, so Michael Jackson, when he died, he was on tour. He was getting ready for a tour.
But he
and I would
sucked.
love to see that
He
tour.
sucked.
And you know what? Millions of people were looking
So
forward
did
to that
Elvis.
tour. And you know what? Because of Michael Jackson's onstage antics, his dancing, his showmanship, so many people. The only people that want to see Elvis Presley are teenage girls born in the 60s. That's it. No men actually want to go see Elvis.
Okay, we have somebody born in the 60s right here. So, you would like to see Elvis come back, right, Kristen?
But if you had to pick between Elvis and Jimi Hendrix.
She's not a fan of Michael Jackson. That's what your own wife is against you.
It's not. That doesn't matter. There's more fans of Michael Jackson than there are of Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley is the greatest ever.
What's that?
And I think we can point to just their titles: King of Rock and Roll, Prince of Pop.
King of Pop. King.
Which nobody gives a fuck about.
King is higher than a prince, and rock and roll is higher than pop music. So therefore,
King of Garbage.
There's no pop music Hall of Fame. There's a rock and roll Hall of Fame, and that's what it's about.
Is that so?
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess who's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Jimi Hendrix.
All right, we're gonna segue into.
All right.
I already said Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Okay. So you need to. I'm gonna say you need to back up your argument if you want to win.
Epic guitar riffs.
Okay. Can you give me an
That's
example?
my argument. Look up Jimi Hendrix right now and play some.
Yeah.
And you will see why.
That's true.
So you wanted to see Jimi Hendrix come back just to play the guitar.
Fucking right, man.
But you can see that on YouTube.
But he's not alive.
Yeah.
I want some new shit.
You want him to do some new shit.
The problem is he won't be in the 27 Club anymore, though.
No, he won't.
Well, does he get kicked out of the club because he's brought back to life?
Yeah, he's gonna age more.
I guess. Yeah.
You still get to be in the club, I think, if you're resurrected.
I guess, yeah. That's
because you did die when you were 27.
That's true.
What?
Anyways, you have anything else to add?
No, that was it.
All right. What do you think the King could do for good?
Would bring a certain vestige, certain kind of responsibility back to America.
With his deep fried pickles.
His deep fried pickles and his deep fried peanut butter and
He'll be responsible.
sandwiches.
Only deep fried healthy foods.
In all seriousness,
like pickles.
I think that Elvis would just bring a great concert going experience. I think there's a whole generation of people who have lost his music, who aren't aware of his music, and I think him coming back to life would inspire them to be better.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Daddy just by a little bit.
Oh man.
If you argued a little bit more, I probably would have given it to you.
Well, if you were listening to Jimi Hendrix, you would have gave it to me.
I do listen to Jimi Hendrix, but just
just what?
Anyways. The question is, what was the worst one season for any team ever in sports? I'm going to start with you, Chris.
Okay. I went with the Bulgarian hopeful Olympic team from
What?
No, from 2008.
Yes.
The Bulgaria hopeful Olympic team, okay?
And what sport were they competing in?
They were competing in hockey.
Yes.
Okay, they were competing in hockey. They were going for the Olympics. They were trying to get into the Olympics. They were in the qualifying round, so this counts as their season, right? They were going through the qualifying rounds. So they had a game against Slovakia. They lost 82-0. They lost 82-0 against Slovakia.
Can we get this fact checked?
What is it?
The Bulgarian hockey team lost 82-0 to Slovakia. I want that fact checked.
Yeah.
For sure.
2008 Olympic hopeful team, Bulgaria. Bulgaria versus Slovakia, 82-0.
Any other?
Okay, but just let me tell you a little bit about this
That's like
game.
a goal and a half a minute.
Listen.
What year?
That was in 2008. During the first 5 minutes of the game, Slovakia scored 7 goals. Okay? During this game, Slovakia had 139 shots on goal.
Wow.
The goalie didn't even stop half the shots.
Is that a record?
That's got to be a record.
The goalie did not even stop half the shots. Okay, but you know what? We were like, okay, Bulgaria, okay, they're not that good. Maybe they can be... Slovakia is pretty good, right? You know, we got to give it to Slovakia.
They're okay.
They're okay. So Slovakia went on to they played Croatia. Croatia, we know, sucks at hockey. Croatia's not being in the Olympics.
Yeah.
82-0.
So
82
it's
to
true. Chris's story is true. Okay.
All right.
My story is
Thank
true.
you,
139 shots on goal.
130.
82, yeah.
Okay, so this is legit.
Yeah.
Okay, versus Croatia. Next game. 30-1. They lost. 30-1.
All right.
Okay?
That's pretty bad.
That's an improvement.
It's an improvement against the worst team. Imagine if they played Canada. By the way, just as another fact, I'll tell you, Slovakia, who beat them 82-0, Canada went on to beat Slovakia 18-0.
Okay.
So that just shows you that they're not even playing a great team. Imagine if Bulgaria was playing Canada. That would have been like a 500-0 game. Well, would have been ridiculous.
Canada would never do that.
No, well, because we're polite.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could have. But we could have. We could have. Okay, they went on to play Italy, 41-0. Okay. So after that, they gave up. They were out. Their season was over. They ended up getting scored on 192 times, and they got 1 goal.
Hey, good for them.
I rest my case in this one. He asked for the worst season ever. I gotta rest my case here. I swear, the LA Mings could have beaten this Bulgarian team.
All right.
No,
Tony, I want to hear your choice and argument.
Okay. Well, it's the 2015 Toronto Maple Leafs. They broke records for being so bad. They've never been so bad in their entire history.
Did they ever lose 82-0? Did that ever happen?
No, but they were the worst they've ever been.
Did they win some games?
It's the worst season.
They did win some games, didn't they?
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
Okay, can we get this fact check? The stats for Toronto.
The 2015-2016 Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, can we get how many wins, how many loses, how many ties?
We can always argue, too, that Toronto, by the end, was purposely losing games just so they could
well, that's exactly
number one draft
that would
pick.
exactly be my counter argument, that the Leafs tried to lose on purpose.
Yeah.
No, they just sucked that bad.
No, I don't
They were
think...
the worst they've ever been.
Well, it wasn't the worst season because they ended up with the number one draft pick.
Season.
So that's something positive came out of it.
Well, something positive only came out of being negative.
Yeah, being the worst.
Well, it happened to Edmonton last year. It happens to one team has to lose.
Certainly, that wasn't the worst season in NHL history. It couldn't have been.
It was their worst season.
How many wins did they have?
But a good point is
I don't
that
fucking know.
He's in the NHL. You're in the.
Can you check that?
Yes.
How many wins they had?
I'm just doing the stats, right?
Yeah. For the Leafs last season.
I don't know how to read this.
Just show it to me.
Show it to Verdone.
They broke records for being so bad.
For their team.
Yeah, they didn't break NHL records for being bad. They weren't the worst.
They were 20.
Okay,
I would say that is the worst season for
them.
them.
Their record was 29, 42, and 11.
Yeah,
right.
Which is, they won 29 games. It's not like they can't compete.
But they lost 42.
So yeah, well, somebody's got to lose.
That's the worst they've ever done. It's the worst season for them. They broke so many records for being terrible.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad to see you brought a good argument.
Okay, well, here's my argument. I'm arguing for the 1993-94 Ottawa Senators.
Okay.
This was their first year in the league. This was in the period of expansion where I think it was the Senators and the Ducks came in the same year. And their record was 14-61-9.
Okay, show me this.
That's a pretty bad
The
record.
record
Yeah.
is 14-61-9.
That is 15 less losses than the 15-16.
But they finished in 7th
Toronto Maple Leafs. 7th in what?
in Northeast Division.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's
there were
where-
7
that's
teams.
Really?
I'm sure.
Interesting. That is interesting because the Leafs were in dead last.
No, they were in dead
their
last. The
worst
Senators were in dead last, and of course,
With
this-
a record like that, the Senators
they
have to be
you know,
in dead last.
This was their first year in the league. They were an expansion team. And this was an expansion period where the rules dictated that you could protect a lot of players. So therefore, only the trash left on every other of their teams at the time was available to you
So
to
you're
put on your
saying
team.
that they didn't have a good enough lineup because they were just coming in?
They were just coming in, and their whole team was made up of a bunch of nobodies.
But they still won 14 games.
14.
I think
pretty good.
I think
That's
that
pretty
my
good for a new
team
team.
wouldn't have won any
The
games.
Toronto Maple Leafs are not a new team.
That's a good point there.
It's not a season. This was a pre-qualifying tournament for the Olympics.
Which is their season.
It's not a season,
It's a
Tony.
season.
No,
their
it's
season.
not.
This is a pre-qualifying
It's theirs.
tournament.
Nope.
Like, it's not even like it doesn't even qualify.
But it's their season. It's their.
The question was about the worst season ever, and my team has the worst season. Yours is not a season.
But I think the Toronto Maple Leafs season is way worse because they had so much money.
Yeah,
They
but
have like the most money of
they're
any
still
team.
under. It's in the cap era, and like just the way
Yeah,
that the
and yours
league
is
is
not.
structured.
So you're saying yours is justifiable?
I think
Well-
mine is just so hilariously
Well,
ridiculous that it should win.
The expansion rules of the time didn't allow for
It's the worst team ever. I
like,
agree.
Yeah.
those rules at the time basically dictated what the Senators' fate was going to be. And the fact that they won 14 games, I'm sure they were thrilled about. Like, they were happy just to win those and tie those 9 games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
like
was
the
a plus for
Mallrats
them.
the
They're
way
like,
they did the
yeah, we
NHL.
should do
Well,
better.
just like the one goal for the Bulgarians was a plus for them, or like those 29 wins that the Leafs won were a plus for them. Everybody had.
Well, no, they would. The Leafs would have won
They
28
only got
games.
one goal.
One goal.
Nobody in the history of sports has lost every
So, I
single
don't know.
game.
I think my team did. Well,
I don't think that counts as a season, though.
All
It's
right.
not
That's
really a
Verdone?
season.
Anything?
Yeah,
About your
that's
team?
not really a season.
Who was the most talented
That is a
player
good
on?
point.
Chris's answer is not. They didn't play like a season.
Okay, Chris
it
is.
counts as their
Chris
season.
doesn't count as
It's
a season.
not.
In terms of
You know what? They just want to win and discount me because of.
You're
that.
fucking right.
I don't know.
But that's their season because that's the Bulgarian
No,
season.
that
It's
is not like-
It's not like there's a Bulgarian HL. It's not that they can. It's not
How do
like
you
there's-
know? There
That
might be a
is their
BHL.
season. That is their season. That's it.
I guess it should have been defined before.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't consider that a season. Like that's not
That's
really
not a
season.
season.
That is their
How many,
season.
how many games is it? It's nothing.
That was 3 games. No.
Oh,
Yeah, 3
wow.
games.
A whole
That is their
3
season.
games.
I'm sure that they practiced before that. They probably
No.
practiced a lot to lose so badly.
Chris,
No.
They
let's
probably
say,
practiced a lot.
let's say we went to like the trials, right, in curling, and we got killed at the beginning in the tournament and lost all the games.
Yeah.
Does that count as a season too?
That's our season.
Oh, well, then, there's tons of examples. Like, I think the spirit of the question was meant for professional sports.
Hockey is a professional sport. That's what I chose.
Yeah,
but it's Olympic hockey, it's
is a
different.
It's
professional
not
sport as well.
professional hockey.
The Olympic is not professional hockey.
Yeah.
Well, no, the question didn't say it had to be professional.
Well, I think the
Is that
spirit.
worst-
I think the spirit of the question implies it.
I think you guys are just jealous because you didn't think of something as good as I did. You just
I-
thought of
I
like
think- I think-
NHL
I
teams.
think I thought
you guys
something
just
much
thought of
better. I
you
think-
guys just thought of NHL teams, and you just looked up the worst team of all time, and
I
that's
don't
it.
even know if it is for a
I
fact.
thought that's
the
what
worst
you
team.
did.
No, that's not what I did. I actually knew this
Sure.
before.
I would like to make some arguments against
Right.
Verdone.
All right.
My arguments against Verdone are that Leaf team was better than it seemed. The fact that they finished dead last was on purpose. I don't think that should be commended or considered the worst because anybody can lose on purpose. So therefore, the Senators with a bunch of guys who were fighting for their jobs. Not that the Leafs didn't have that so much as well, but they were fighting for their future in the league. I think that the Senators are the best example of a team having the worst season because they had all the odds stacked against them right from the get-go. The Leafs had every opportunity to go and sign this guy or that guy. That wasn't part of their strategy. That wasn't part of their future. But in terms of the Senators, they finished dead last and ended up getting Alexander Daigle in the first round the next year, who ended up being a complete bust. So they were still bad for a number of years. They ended up drafting Daniel Alfredson in the 8th round or 9th round, and he ended up being a superstar.
All right, Kristen, I have a question for you, and I need you to answer it
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, I can do
Is the Olympics considered a professional league that has a season for it?
That's a tough one for Chris.
Yeah, that's
a
a
really
very
tough
good
one.
question.
Is the Olympics a professional league?
Anyways, they
has a
can't
season.
they can't go around the fact that my team is the worst just on a technicality.
Sure, we can.
Sure
they,
we
don't,
can.
they don't have the same
That's what they're
commitment.
trying to do.
Technicalities are everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Because technically I could have just looked up who had the worst season ever. Who's ever won
Then
0
why
games.
didn't you?
And then
He did.
Because
He
I
did.
I didn't want to do that.
He looked it up. He totally did.
I
wanted
don't
to-
think you should be
I
rewarded.
wanted to give our listeners some knowledge about some hockey facts of things that actually happened that people might not know about. People know about the NHL.
Oh, that's
They
lovely.
follow it.
Yeah, I was
But
going for more relevant shit.
I don't see that being worth the point being awarded.
Anyways, it's their, that was their season.
Anyways.
It's not like they play anywhere else. That was their season.
Huh?
That was the
What?
Bulgarian Olympic team's season. That was it. They were done after that. Their season was over.
Okay. The games
okay.
of the tournament follow the rules of the International Ice Hockey Federation.
Yep, we all
which
know
differ
that.
Yeah.
slightly from the NHL.
Well, at the very least, it differs slightly.
Yeah.
From the NHL.
But that
Okay.
does not answer
I will
the
accept
season
that
question
as
that
a
was
as a postulate.
imposed.
I think I might
So, did that
as
answer your
well.
question?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
at all.
It
What?
answers my question.
I think.
What are you talking about?
It differs slightly.
No, there's not one. It's over.
It's enough for me.
It differs slightly.
But I think they mean in regulations in that description.
Okay.
Well, they do.
Yeah, we need to know a
Do you
lot
have
more.
anything else about how the
No.
Leafs sucked last year?
We all know that.
They really sucked. last year.
They really.
That is it. That's all I got.
All right.
The worst ever. Ever they've ever been.
You know
ever.
They're gonna be much better than next year.
No, I don't think so.
82-0, Eamon. 82-0. That's more than a goal a minute.
That's not professional.
Yeah, very.
They don't play real seasons. They
not
like
I don't know. Should we
they
ask
just
Jody?
slapped a bunch of fucking people
Should we
together
ask
and they're like,
Jody,
hey.
someone who knows more about.
No,
Wait.
because Jody just doesn't like me. And then
Jody's not even here.
Yeah.
What do you mean
You
Jody
can text
doesn't
him.
like you?
We can't just text Jody. You got to make a decision now.
Yeah.
All right.
One of your friends.
No, he doesn't like me to win this.
Yeah, he certainly wouldn't help you.
You're not gonna win this anyways. Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna give it to.
I'd probably pick Verdone over Dave, but I pick me over everyone else.
See, it's a loaded question. It's tainted. Can't.
All right. I think I'm gonna give it to Daddy.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
King in the house.
You gotta be kidding me. Unfair advantage.
Yeah, pass
Unfair
it.
advantage.
The technicality. About
Yeah, the
that.
technicality. I get it. Unfair advantage.
I know it's unfair.
Father, son.
No, that's not what I did it.
Yeah, that's why you did it.
I'm planning on losing the next round anyways.
If you could have one thing that have never been invented, what would it be and why? We are going to start with Verdone.
Oh, me. Okay. I would say money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
Because it's the root of all evil.
He does make a good point, I guess.
It's not really the root of all evil. You know what?
Why is it the root of all evil?
Even if money wasn't here, we'd still have some sort of barter system. We'd have to trade our pigs or our children or something to get things.
Yeah, but you can't
I like how
like.
it's children and pigs.
Man, you can't like hoard pigs
you can hoard
like-
pigs, actually. Who says you can't?
and get stuff for it. No.
Why not?
Well, you could treat it like a block of cheese for a pig or whatever.
Yeah, like
There would still be a barter system of some kind. There's some kind of trade. Trade's impossible to eliminate.
Yeah, but the trade that we have now is skewed. It's an invented.
Now, but like take money out of the equation.
yeah. So you would rather trade pigs and cheese than money?
Or something.
What would motivate you to go to work if you weren't getting paid?
What?
What would motivate you to go to work if you weren't getting paid?
Motivation to live.
Like, could I pay my cell phone bill with a block of cheese?
Probably not.
But in this world where money was uninvented, it had never been introduced. We didn't even know what it was. It would be like completely crazy to us.
You trade around resources, I guess.
Yeah, they send me my bill for my cell phone and then be like, I don't know, like some strawberries.
I guess so.
I grew these in my garden.
Like I don't know.
It shouldn't cost
since
anything.
caveman days, I think they
It
had a
shouldn't
barter
cost
system. or
anything,
they
man.
would-
It was a collective thing that people did to better ourselves, supposedly.
Right. But like if we didn't have money, would there be any progress?
All right.
Sure there would.
Technologically speaking.
Yes.
We would have invented things like, I don't know, cars without money.
Yeah.
How? Who would have done it?
People that want to do things like that.
But where would they have gotten the resources to do that?
All right.
Sure, the
All right.
They would have
resources
to trade all their pigs and
resources are
cheese.
in the fucking
All right.
earth.
Can we
You
get-
just recruit
We
people.
can get to Daddy.
And cut off.
It was just like, fuck it, I've heard enough.
Whatever.
No, it's just
Whatever.
I'm trying to save it. You know? Okay, go.
What would I uninvent?
Yeah.
I would uninvent the Second Amendment to the United States.
Which is?
Which is
I'm
the
not
right,
American. I don't
which
know
is the
these
right to
things.
bear arms, which is
Yeah.
like especially poignant with the times right now, considering all the mass shootings that have taken place in the last few years and all the gun violence that has resulted from it. And the Second Amendment has been the greatest obstacle towards any kind of progress around gun control and gun safety in the United States, which, while not our country and not our problems, I am sensitive to. I don't like to see innocent people be killed. And the Second Amendment has made that possible. Like, if Obama can put somebody on the no-fly list and say this person cannot go on an airplane for the risk of they'll hijack the airplane and cause destruction, why can't he put that same person on a list that says they can't buy a gun? And the reason is because of the Second Amendment
they do
and
that.
lobbyist groups that have been created as a result of it, like the NRA, who have pushed their agenda so hard and have donated so much in money towards politicians to support those claims. And the reason they have money is that because they love their guns. They love the fact that they own guns. They love shooting. They love the rush that gives them, and they don't care if some school child or gay club or anything else gets shot up because of a result of it. They want their individual freedom. Their fun is worth this much destruction, and they hide behind the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms, which is rooted in the fact that when that amendment was written in the Constitution, it was because at the time that there weren't a lot of standing armies, states and public people would have to come along and say, like, okay, we have to go fight this thing. And they would just get common people in their houses and create like a little mini military and called a militia. And they would go off and fight the wars.
So they all need guns.
So they needed guns.
All of them.
So the right to bear
That shit
arms
wouldn't have
was
happened.
rooted in that idea of militia. People have muskets in their house, and if we have to go out and fight a musket battle, that should be a right.
So why is it a bad invention then?
Well, it's a bad invention because it was invented in a time
Makes
before
a good
technology had really come along, before the era of the machine gun and the semi-automatic and the full automatic assault rifles.
Never mind machine guns. What about like heat-seeking missiles or like GPS missiles? And
Right. Well, but they do restrict that, but they say that your Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms, and it could be any.
But the whole point of it is so the people can protect themselves, right?
Well, the original idea of it was because, for the reason I said, because there weren't standing armies that at the time.
No. It goes beyond that, man.
That's what it was written for. That's why
it was written so that they wouldn't have another civil war or like the War of Independence.
It was so that if the government became corrupt, that the citizens could rise up and defeat the government in that sense, because they didn't want to become what they hated so much.
Or just protect themselves, like
from what?
From whatever threatens them.
Eamon,
Well,
I
that's
think they're
ridiculous.
rambling.
I wouldn't. If anything, I wish I had said guns themselves, but
You should have. That would have been a much better answer.
I don't think that that's realistic.
Yeah.
I don't think guns are the problem per se. They're amazing machines and they can do some great things. But the fact is that they are your rights around them should be restricted because these are very dangerous things. And they should not be in the hands of anybody, let alone law enforcement, maybe the military in the time of brutal war. But the Second Amendment and what it's done to gun culture and to the rest of the world as a result of it is wrong, and I am against it, and that's what I would not invent.
But if you take away guns from the police and military and stuff like that.
I'm not saying take away guns themselves, but would I take away certain guns from people and from law enforcement? Yes, I would take away AR-15s and weapons of that mass destruction,
Why?
which can mow down a room of people in seconds.
But they exist and people can get them no matter where you are, and you should be able to how do you counter that? If we take away guns from all these people.
I'm not even thinking it's realistic to say you can take away all guns from people, but I don't think you should have that kind of destruction at your disposal. I don't think that should be an inherent right.
Okay. Chris?
You know what? I just want to point out something before I answer this question. Because I lost last round on a technicality, I want to tell you that the Second Amendment's not an invention. It's an amendment.
It's
It's a human invention.
It's not an invention. Nobody invented the Second Amendment. It's there.
Did somebody have to come up with it out of the fucking head? It's a fucking invention.
It's a thought. Are all thoughts inventions?
Yes!
No, they're not.
Well, I mean, if
It's
you
not
make
an
it legal,
invention.
then you're inventing
It's not an invention.
You're inventing
Then what
a
is
law.
it?
It's like, can you just go to your drawer and grab the Second Amendment? No, you can't.
That's
Yes,
right.
you can! It's on a piece of paper!
You can grab it written down. I can write
If
something
I happen to
down.
write it down on a piece of paper and go get it, yes, I did.
So it's not an invention. It's an amendment, and it's written down on a piece of paper. Guns are inventions.
Yes.
The Second Amendment is not an invention.
So something something crafted out of material
Any
of
kind
some
of law
kind.
is an
Yes.
invention.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an invention.
It's inventing a rule.
You're inventing a rule.
You're making a rule.
You're
You don't
inventing an
invent it.
idea.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
You don't
If you're making
invent it.
something, you're inventing it.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're
Out
not.
of physical
I can make a
properties.
cake. Did I invent that cake?
Yes, somebody invented the cake. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yes, but just because I can make one doesn't mean it's an.
S-A-N.
Hang on, let me get there. Amendment.
Yes.
Look up the definition of
I am.
invention.
I think we need the definition of invention.
How do I get here?
Just type invention in Google.
Oh, okay, let's
Yeah.
go. What is it?
Invention.
On the technicalities, the only way I'm gonna win this.
Okay, we have the definition of invention.
The action
Say
of
it into the mic.
The action of inventing something, typically a process or device.
Typically. but not always.
You can
Guys,
invent, like,
guys,
you know,
guys.
the nuclear bomb.
A new,
Right.
useful process, machine, improvement, etc., that did not exist previously and that is recognized as the product of some unique intuition or genius, as distinguished from
There we
their
go.
mechanical skill or craftsmanship.
Right.
So it's
yes.
correct.
Something that
Mechanical
is
skill or
fucking
craftsmanship?
made.
It's
But he
physical.
said in improvement.
It's
That is mechanical.
mechanical. It's mass.
It's a physical thing that was made
I guess.
through genius.
Am I out?
Yeah.
I guess.
Can I change? Can I amend my Second Amendment?
No, you can't amend it now.
Your amendment.
I'm sorry. It looks like you've been disqualified.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's what it says.
All right, what's your
Oh,
argument?
his is ridiculous.
I chose the light bulb.
You would uninvent the light bulb.
You're fucked up, man.
Why?
The Edison invention.
That's
All
an
right,
idea.
so Chris,
It's like a-
why do you
it's a
think
mindset.
having
Yeah.
light bulbs is worse than having money?
No, I don't think it's worse. It's definitely not worse.
Okay, Verdone.
No, but wait, I'm not done.
I think he is.
I think
Light bulbs are a result of money.
I think it would be no. Imagine, okay, guys. Imagine living in a world with no light bulbs. We only have candles. But in this world where we have no light bulbs, I still want everything else to exist. So we still have internet. We still have computers and
But you can't
TVs
have
and everything.
computers!
LEDs are not light bulbs.
Well, you have to go with the definition for light bulbs on that one.
Okay, look
because-
up what LED stands for.
Light emitting diode.
Yeah, I know.
We don't need to
yes,
look that up.
that's what it stands for. But it's not technically like a light bulb.
It's not technically a light bulb. So
But it's
what-
made with
It's
light
not
bulbs.
even with sand.
no, it's not.
It's
But
a
so what
computer
I-
component that
Yes.
glows when
What
you
I
throw
think
it.
would be cool is if we,
Electricity.
in place of,
Backlit screen.
in place of all light bulbs, we have candles. And, like, even in your car. Like, cars are still invented, but the headlights are candles. This will be an awesome world.
I think he just blew his
And
mind.
they're covered by glass.
Yeah, they're covered by glass, of course. Of course. Or else they're going to blow out when you
How do
drive.
they breathe?
Oh, good.
There's
They need air.
No, well, there would be like a light bulb pump that would pump oxygen into the chamber.
Okay. Chris,
Light bulb pump.
why is it bad? Why would you want to get rid of the light bulb?
Because I think it would be cool to live in a world without light bulbs and candles only.
All right, that's not an actual. That's not a point.
That's the point.
Tony, why should money not exist?
I think it hinders things and it causes a lot of problems.
Like what?
Well, war for one.
Okay, Verdone wins.
I'm glad. I didn't want to have to explain myself.
You're welcome, Verdone, for me getting Dave disqualified.
All
That
right.
shouldn't
Or else
have
Dave would've
been
won
a
again.
thing. No, that shouldn't have been a thing.
All right. We are on
It's
to
a
the
real
wild
bitch.
card round. So the question is, what is the
What?
best Mario game? What is the best game that Mario's appeared in? That's how you quoted it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
My pick is Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Why?
Mario's the referee in that game.
Yeah.
He is.
That's why he worded it the way he did.
I love that game, man. That game is so much fun. It's so easy. It's one of the best examples of a game on original Nintendo.
It's easy?
It's not easy.
No.
Well, it starts out pretty
It
easy.
starts out easy, but it
With
gets
Glass
way
Joe.
harder.
Yeah.
And
But you can't play Mario in that Mario game, so it sucks. In
Well,
my opinion.
Well, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It
that's
depends
totally
on the quality
what
of the
matters.
game.
Mario
That's what matters.
happens to be in the game, and it happens to be an amazing game. It's one of the best examples of an A/B kind of like D-pad, kind of like simple video game from the early days. It was the thing I kind of grew up on playing, and like the whole idea of Glass Joe, and you kind of work up to the tougher guys as you go through life. I think it's
Did you
great.
ever get to Mike Tyson?
Never got there.
I beat that game. You suck.
You beat every game. You even beat Battletoads.
Yeah, and that sucks as a Mario game.
But you know what? Mario happens to be in that game, and I love that game so much. It's amazing.
All right. Okay, we will go to Chris next.
My choice is Super Mario Brothers, the original, #1.
All right.
It's the game that shipped with Nintendo in 1985.
Along with Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Along with Duck Hunt.
No,
They were
it's
on the
just
same
Duck Hunt,
cartridge.
though.
Wasn't it on like the same cartridge or?
They were on the same cartridge. But anyways, Duck Hunt has nothing to do with this. I'm saying Super Mario Brothers was the best game.
Fuck you, Duck Hunt.
You know why?
Duck Hunt was way better than that game.
This came in an era after Atari was dominant at the time with games like friggin' Pac-Man and E.T.
Actually, this is right out. AT dominated.
AT was
I didn't say. I said Atari was dominant.
You said with games like ET.
They had games like that. They had Asteroids.
Don't mess with him in the video game world. He knows that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Also-
what I'm saying is E.T. almost destroyed the video game industry.
Yeah.
It was a horrible game. And I'm saying Super Mario is what brought gamers back. It brought people back because people were fed up with Atari. Okay.
Yep.
And finally, NES
No, I
comes.
don't want to say that exactly.
Well, people were fed up with,
How do you
with
know?
games altogether.
You weren't even a twinkle in my eye.
1982 actually is when E.T.
I wasn't
came
even
out.
born yet.
Yeah, Dave didn't even.
I wasn't even a
1982.
twinkle in Chief's eye yet.
Yeah. E.T. came out, and it seemed there were a lot of people getting into the Atari business, making these stupid games because people would buy them for ridiculous amounts of money, and the game sucked. And you know what? People weren't really excited about
Duck
video
Hunt was
games
awesome,
anymore.
Man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then
That was
the
the
NES,
best thing
the
ever
NES came
invented.
out, and I think that Super Mario, the original, rejuvenated people's passion for video games. And not only that, it spawned all the everything after that.
yeah.
Like it spawned all the systems after that, all the game
Well, just
development.
saying that-
Not only that, we went from like Pac-Man being like a one-screen thing, or Donkey Kong being a one-screen thing, and that's all you play on is that screen. Finally, the Super Mario's here, and hey, this guy's side-scrolling. We can walk to the right.
I don't know if weren't there side-scrolling beat-em-ups in arcades at that point?
In arcades, there were the stand-up ones. You had to go to the arcades,
like Double
But-
Dragon.
Yeah, but it wasn't like you couldn't have that in your house.
No, but you could still do it.
You could do it if you wanted to go to the arcade and stand there and pump quarters into the machine all day.
Well, you just said that all games were just one screen before that.
In your home. Your home.
All right.
Like, you know what? And Super Mario was one of those games that everyone was, when it came out, everyone was addicted to. Anyone from like a 5-year-old up to like a 50-year-old. Everybody was playing that game. Everyone would rush home to play Super Mario Bros.
I don't agree that 50-year-old people.
Oh, I think they would.
Game.
My mom, when we first got the Super Nintendo, I would say, I don't know, she was like 35 at the time. And
Your mom?
Yeah.
Your mom played?
Oh yeah, she loved that game. Every day she would come home, play that game. Kristen played that game back in the day. I played that game. It renewed a lot of people's faith in the video game technology. The games are actually going to get better. They're not just going to.
Why did they need a renewal of their faith in 1985?
Because
video games were just showing up at this point.
No, there was lots before that. There was Pong, there was ColecoVision, there was Atari, there was a lot, and people just weren't that excited about it. NES with that game finally, you know what? And that's also the game that brought Mario to the world. It showcased him. There was a couple of games with Mario before that game, but that game made Mario a household name.
No,
Are you done now?
no, I would say
Are
Donkey
you done?
Kong and Mario Bros. Did.
Well, you know what? I think in Donkey Kong, you had to be a pretty hardcore fan to know that was Mario. Like at the time when Donkey Kong came out, right? Because it's not like Donkey Kong and Mario. It wasn't called that. It was just called Donkey Kong.
What about Mario Bros? Oh no, wait. Was Mario Bros? Mario Bros. Was in the arcade, right?
Mario Brothers was in the arcade.
But it was more of a home.
Again, that was like one of those one-screen kind of games where you jump on the turtles and you just try and knock your buddy off.
In that period, most home games were on the arcade as well. But
Yeah. Anyways,
So that's all I had.
Let's see what Verdone's got to say.
Yeah, Verdone. What
Yeah.
was your pick?
I picked Super Mario RPG
All right, and why did you pick it?
because it revolutionized the game industry. If you look now, every game has some kind of RPG element to it.
Yeah.
not every game.
Every fucking game.
Oh, really?
Oh, like a lot
Yes.
of games nowadays do have
99% of them.
equipable.
What about Candy Crush? What's the RPG value of that game?
You got different
That's
levels you
mobile
gotta do.
That's an RPG.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it is.
No.
You gotta
What role am I playing in
you have an
Candy Crush?
account.
You're the role of the Candy Crusher.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to crush all the candies.
Yep.
For what? What purpose?
There's no purpose.
There is none. There's no purpose.
RPG games are incredibly complicated. I don't even like RPG games.
Not really, but every game has kind of morphed into that. Like even like Call of Duty. You ever played Call of Duty back in the day?
Yeah.
You know, you just like play it, you like select whatever guns you want, and that was it. And you go and kill shit. But now you got to build yourself up to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an RPG. You gotta like play
Yeah,
so
but
many
you think
games.
Mario RPG started that?
Sure it did. It was the first of its kind.
What year's Mario RPG?
It was the first of its kind.
What year did it come out?
I have no idea. Probably like
Well, it's
90,
not-
early
Wait,
90s, late
What year
90s.
did Super Mario RPG come out?
In the 90s
I mean,
sometime.
what does RPG mean?
It means role-playing game.
But he is right where like 70%. But I don't.
They amended the whole concept.
I don't think 99%
didn't.
of games now are RPGs, and I don't think that
Is
they
Mike
are-
Tyson's
How often
Punch
you-
Out an RPG?
no.
No, but that
1996.
1996
Okay.
is Super Mario
In
RPG.
Japan.
There were other RPGs before Super Mario RPG. Like,
But now every game is like that.
like Legend of Zelda. That's
Zelda, well, yeah.
Yeah, because you collect items.
That's
Yeah.
way before that.
And Link, that was an awesome game. Again, for the NES, Super Mario 1.
Remember how like
brought
they
that
used to
along.
come on the gold cartridges?
Yeah, those. You know what? The gold cartridges. I don't know if you know this, Dave, but the gold cartridges actually had batteries in them. Those were the first cartridges where you could actually save your progress. Those were the first games where you could save your progress.
Anyways.
Such as you have to
So-
do in RPGs.
But it's
so.
different because they're like you could pick what you wanted to do, and like Zelda, you really just it was like a set thing. Right.
So, Kristen, I also want you to look something up. What was the first RPG ever?
It might have been Zelda. I want to say it was Zelda.
I want to say it's Final
like
Fantasy.
discounting some kind of foreign video game that we won't know, but like,
Nintendo is foreign as fuck, man. It's from Japan.
I know.
You know what? There was RPGs.
I'm talking
that,
like Slovakia or something.
bulletin boards
Obscure.
back
What's the
in
difference?
back in the early 90s.
Because if it wasn't widely played,
guys.
1970s, the first modern RPG, the first commercially available role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
Ah.
Dragons,
Published in
shit.
1974.
1974.
Yeah.
That was the first RPG game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And in fact, that I already argued about Dungeons and
that was
Dragons
a
tonight.
Yeah.
You did.
That's strange.
Yeah,
Didn't you win that round?
I did. I think I should win this round too.
Argue for why Punch-Out is an amazing game.
Punch-Out's an amazing game because
You lose.
you got A
Loser.
button. A button is
Stop talking.
your right fist. B button is your left fist, and
Yeah.
you duck and
Stop
weave,
talking.
and you're moving
Stop
through the
it.
different levels. It's the
Sorry,
ultimate
I didn't do
boss
that.
game.
It was
you're,
Kristen.
you're working through the different bosses
Yeah.
from easier to harder, and you're fighting some really colorful characters along
Yeah.
the way.
Very racist.
Very racist, and what's that guy's name? Like King Hippo.
Well, he's a fat guy, and he's
Yeah, he's
trying to
making
stand it.
he's
That makes
slagging
no
on
sense.
he's slagging on the fat guys. I don't like
You
it.
gotta punch him in
Yeah,
the
you
face.
gotta punch him out. Damn you, you're
And
a
then he's like in the corner with
yeah, he's a race traitor.
yeah.
He betrayed the fatties.
All right.
Yeah, that interesting sidetrack there.
Then there's like little Mac that's
why-
gotta chase the black
why-
guy.
Little
and,
Mac.
like,
Why is Super Mario Bros. Better than Punch Out?
Fucking the music is epic.
What?
Everyone still loves that music to this day. The concept of the game is just insane. Like it's not boxing. Okay, they made boxing after a real life thing.
Let me tell you a
Super
little
Mario
something.
is like, what the hell is this? This guy's punching blocks and
I'll
he's
tell you a
jumping
little
and eating
something about that
mushrooms.
Mike Tyson's
and-
Punch Out. That Mike Tyson's
Why
Punch Out.
are you
It
interrupting
puts
my
you
time?
into the world of boxing in a time when video
Get
games
the
were just trying to tackle this subject. You go into that world of boxing. You're in between rounds. You have your coach giving you some advice. You feel the pain.
You know what the
You
coach's
feel
name is?
every punch that just hit you in that last round.
You know what? Super Mario Brothers, you get to escape reality for a little bit. You get these fucking flowers coming out of the plants. You get mushrooms.
It
You
makes
get
no
stars.
sense. It's an
You get
acid
stars.
trip.
You get stars that make you run really fast, and then you kill everything in your tracks.
sense.
You jump with the
That's
flag.
not an argument. It is an argument.
You know what? You get to swim. You get to go in caves. You get to go underground.
takes me out
You get
of
to
the
go in
game.
castles. You get to go in castles. You get
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
You-
it takes me out of the game, Eamon. The world is too surreal. You have to be on drugs to
You get to-
appreciate it.
That's not true.
And drugs are bad.
You have
know
to.
that.
You have to find. You have to
That's
find.
not true.
You have to find the princess like 8 times before
Yeah.
she's actually there.
No,
it's like,
actually-
oh shit, our princess is in another castle.
And then
And it's fun.
flipping you off.
Yeah.
Have you actually seen that on the Sprite?
Have I seen what?
Well, in Toad's Sprite in the original Super Mario Brothers, he's flipping you off.
Yeah. Yeah. He does.
What
that.
an asshole.
What a dick. I don't like Toad.
After he gets saved too, he's such a dick.
What a fucker.
All right. I'm gonna have to say Chris.
Woo! Are you serious?
You are so wrong.
Really? You're serious?
So what's the score now then?
Verdone is out at 1, Chris has 2, and you have 3.
Oh, I actually got one? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You got the sports one, didn't you?
No, you got history.
History, yeah, you got the history one.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
Okay.
So
I should have got that one too.
It's me versus Chris in the speed round then.
Yeah.
And
Wicked.
And
I look
Verdone's
forward
out.
to it.
I'm out of here.
Look
Well, you
forward
can
to
still
it.
be here for it.
No, fuck that shit.
Well, I need you as if I need anyone to help me during the speed round.
You're on your own, bud.
Okay. So we are on to the speed round, and we are on to movies. What movie is better, Rent or Little Shop of Horrors?
Little Shop of Horrors. Because there's a guy in that movie named Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour,
Suddenly Seymour.
beside me.
You know what? It's a.
We understand.
All right, so
Okay, besides that, it is a better movie. It's about a fucking man-eating plant. It's like, feed me, I'm a hungry plant.
Oh, man.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a freaking hilarious movie. Stars Rick Moranis, who unfortunately doesn't act anymore, but he was a funny guy. It was a great movie. One of my favorite movies as a kid growing up, actually. As a kid, who's not gonna love a movie with a man-eating plant and a guy with my
Lots
own
of
name?
kids.
His name is Seymour.
okay. What about Rent?
Rent is amazing. I'm just gonna say I agree with everything Chris said.
Yeah.
He is totally into Little Shop of Horrors. I am totally into that. I did that in high school in grade 9. I was on the stage crew.
Yeah.
I was
You got
helping out.
AIDS?
Dave was probably Audrey.
I was like I carried little Audrey in the plant out onto the stage and placed it in the middle of the stage and said, "Go actors," right? But like that was all I did back then. But like that movie is magical. But Rent is something different. Rent is amazing. I felt like for the longest time I was the biggest skeptic of Rent. I never accepted it, and it was actually Eamon's mother, Kara, who got me onto Rent. And Jeff, my brother, actually, he was really into it, and I always dismissed it as nonsense. But it is one of the most
So you
beautiful.
think Rent's good because Dave?
Rent is one of the most beautiful stories I've ever seen.
I don't
or
think so.
heard.
There's nothing beautiful about getting AIDS.
No.
You know what? It's just like it's about bohemianism. It's about art.
What?
It's about being these artists who are living in this world who are just trying to do what they can.
It's about AIDS. Everybody's
Who are
got
just
AIDS.
Trying to live. Yeah, because they're
Because they're fucking
they
gay.
didn't ask for it, Verdone. Like it's just
Right.
the way it is.
You know what? I prefer the fantasy and there's just the hilarity of Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, Little Shop of Horrors is amazing, but Rent's even better. Rent's something spectacular. It's got Jesse L. Martin.
If I had to choose which movie I was going to watch right now, I would choose Little Shop of
Eamon,
Horrors.
it's got some of the most amazing artists ever. Jesse L. Martin.
Is it about a homosexual getting AIDS?
It's about a
Can we mute Verdone's mic?
That's probably a good idea. You should do that.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Yeah.
what it's about, right?
Yeah.
That is what it's about.
He's muted.
All right. I am gonna ask for Verdone.
Oh, so do you want me to unmute?
Unmute him
Here
for a
anymore,
second.
man. I'm not here.
Do this
I'm
for a
gone.
minute.
You're back.
I got muted. I'm fucking
You're
exiled.
back.
I'm exiled. Okay.
All right. Well, who do you think argued better?
Chris.
I just want to say, like, for the problem is they're really both good movies, and I have to admit that. But for like which is better of the two? Which would I want to watch over and over again? Definitely Little Shop of Horrors. Rent is one of those movies you can watch once, and then you're like, okay,
No,
I've seen it.
it's
I've seen the
definitely-
gay
it's
guys. I've seen
definitely
the AIDS. It's
rewatchable.
done.
It's
It's not rewatchable.
Don't even want to watch the first time.
It's definitely rewatchable. It just comes down to which movie you think is more rewatchable, and I think that Rent is actually the one that's more rewatchable because
Garbage.
Because the songs are more human and a little bit more closer to reality, and I think that is more soothing. To
Because
your soul in
movies
the
to
long
you,
term
Dave,
than-
good
than-
movies are close to
than
reality
Little
to
Shop of
you?
Horrors is a fun movie. When I want to have a party, Little Shop of Horrors is on, but you
Yeah.
can't have a party.
Aren't you all about superheroes? I don't think you're about anything.
I think that is
Close to
I
reality.
think I have two modes. I have Little Shop of Horrors mode and I have Rent mode. And most of the time I'm in Rent mode, but sometimes I'm.
Oh, most of the time you're in like gay AIDS mode. Really?
That's not all Rent's about. That's not all Rent's about. And that's a fallacy.
Wow.
Rent's about a lot.
No, that's
more
what it's
than
all
that.
about.
No, there are 8 characters. Only like 6.
They all
of
have
them,
AIDS.
6 of them have AIDS. 2 of them don't. And it's
They all
fine.
have AIDS.
You know, it's
6 of them do.
You know.
Yeah, that's like fucking 90%.
Yeah. It's not actually.
Almost.
It's based on.
That's 90%.
It's based on an Italian opera. It's based on Le Bohème by.
And I don't like opera, so there we go.
La Vie Bohème.
I think I'm gonna have to give it to Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
I can't argue that too much. That was the longest speed round movie round. It was looking so short for a while. That it
was.
This huge debate, which is better. And I was like, I can't even decide. So.
All right. TV. Who's the best Seinfeld character? Who's the best character on Seinfeld?
Seinfeld?
You said George?
George.
What? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose Seinfeld.
Jeremy
Wow.
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
All right.
He sucked.
Like, how is he not the best character? I mean, the show is named about him.
He's awful.
Yeah, but he had to have all these people with him to be good.
He gave all the best lines to
And
his co-stars.
Kramer was the one.
I'm surprised no one chose Kramer, actually.
Well, I-
Yeah, that's the logical choice.
I will. Can I switch to Kramer? I will easily.
No, you cannot
You can't.
choose Kramer.
Okay, I'll go.
You made your decision. You're done. You suck.
I'm happy with George. George is amazing.
He is the worst
George is-
character.
he's
He is
so
the
bad, but he's so
worst.
good. He's so bad, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just a point for George. George is like so pathetic and so be-angered. He always wears like 3 shirt sizes too small for him, just so he looks all tight and bothered and like strung up. And he can't. He's one of the most interesting. Evil kind of characters, but you root for at the
He
same
is
time.
the saddest character that I do not root for.
All right. And why do you think Jerry Seinfeld?
I root for him being taken
He's
out
the only
every
one who had
season.
sex with Elaine.
What?
That's your argument?
That's it.
Okay, that's all.
All right. I'm gonna give it to Dad.
Yes.
Oh my God!
You threw that away.
You should both lose
Didn't
that
throw
round.
that away.
You should both lose
You
that.
went for the yuck and you
Oh.
lost it.
David, come on. For real, they should have both lost.
I can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
Nah,
You're the host. You make the rules.
don't listen to him. He's a negative influence.
No, I'm not.
Ooh, okay. For the music round, which rapper is better, Eminem or Dr. Dre?
Eminem.
Dr. Dre. Easily. Put Verdone back
There would
on.
be no fucking Eminem without Dr. Dre.
There would be no Eminem without Dr. Dre, but the
So-
student learned from the master, and the student surpassed the master. And honestly,
And the
like,
student
listen,
still got his beats from the master.
Listen, like,
It's all about the beats, man.
I
Verdone
think.
said, I'm with Verdone.
All right.
He's
You
my,
can't
he's my,
go
Okay,
back
guys,
to that.
give me.
he's my proxy.
You guys.
I mean-
okay, why is Eminem better than Dr.
Like Marshall Mathers,
He's
got
not.
this. He's had a great movie.
Yeah.
Like I think 8 Mile was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
That
so
movie
he's a
sucked.
great actor as well as a great rapper. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah,
his.
he had sex with what's her name on that like conveyor belt so convincingly.
Yes, he did. That was a great movie.
Wow. Really? No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like his album, The Eminem Show, which came out in like 2000, was one of the
2008.
2000. No, the Eminem Show came out in 2000. 2008.
Eminem's ridiculous. He's a clown.
I think
2008.
was
He's a clown.
no.
That's not. Well, not. Any, in his earlier art.
Yeah, maybe 2000.
Anyways,
Do you respect
He's a
Eminem?
clown for making that
Yeah.
movie, but he is a good artist.
who's Dr. Dre?
If you asked me who was a better producer, I would have chose Dr. Dre. But he said who's the better rapper. And I think when
Eminem
you listen to
doesn't produce
Eminem's songs, his lyrics,
Dude,
the
why
way
is
that
Doc-
it flows, Eminem
He is the
way
only
better.
reason we know of Eminem is because of his producer called Dr. Dre.
All right. The idea that I made you, therefore I'm better is kind of. I don't know.
He would never
I-
say that.
Well, it's just
That's not
the
what we're
idea
getting
that the person before him is better because he was the person before him. I don't know. Anyways, why is Dr. Dre better than Eminem?
Name one of his songs.
Can you name me one of his
Anything
songs?
from
Dr.
NWA.
Anything
No,
from-
Eminem.
Eminem, what
Straight Outta
album do you want
Compton.
it from?
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police. How about
That's an NWA song.
um,
Yeah, which is made
Like, I
by
go with like
Dr.
Toy
Dre.
Soldiers, White America, Real Slim Shady.
yeah.
Um,
I believe most of
Dr.
them.
Dre's way better than Eminem. Don't listen to a thing he says. He's garbage.
I don't know.
You know what?
I feel like your argument was
The
a
only
lot.
thing he said was given
I feel like a
to
lot of your
Dr.
argument was
Dre.
based off.
Dr. Dre was the mentor of Eminem, and therefore anything Eminem
No.
did is just a is a
No,
is,
that-
is a
That's
bad,
a horrible.
bad
Yeah.
copy, a bad knockoff. That's all.
No,
Eminem
that's
is.
a horrible argument.
Eminem kind
I'm gonna give it to Chris. Fuck.
I never watched the show anymore. You haven't even talked?
The what?
What's the movie that they come out with? Compton.
No, don't.
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
No, but
Yeah.
there's a show on A&E that we watch.
All right, Eamon,
Oh,
lay
that's
it on us.
like basically
Okay.
what the movie is.
Sports. What martial art is the best?
I'm going to say mixed martial arts.
All right, MMA.
I'm gonna say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
All right.
Black arts.
All right.
Verdone says the black arts.
All right. Apparently, Verdone.
He's in this. He's going to try to steal
Yes.
a point.
I won something.
No,
you
you
did
haven't,
win 1 point.
You haven't won
You win
anything
1
yet.
point.
Yes.
You
That
gotta
was
win.
my first win.
It's not a win. You just
I
said-
won.
you
I
just
won
said an
everything.
answer,
I
that's all you
won.
did.
I won the internet.
All right.
You won the internet. I think you did.
You want to get lamps on top of cars. Anyways, MMA. Why?
It's the best because it's mixed. It's the mixed martial arts. It's got every martial art in it. It could defeat every martial art that comes at it because it has everything in it.
Do you like salads?
It's like a salad. It's
Yeah,
like the
a
ultimate
mixed
salad.
salad.
If you created the ultimate salad and like
And then tossed it.
nobody would ever want to eat anything else but this particular salad, and that's what it is. Mixed martial arts.
All right.
No, it's a Caesar salad.
So I think that mixed martial arts has to be voided because that's every martial art. You can't just choose that.
Fact checker. Is mixed martial arts count as one singular martial art?
It does,
No,
but it's the
because
mix
it's
of
mixed.
everything.
So that's why, as soon as he said
No, it
that,
does.
I went with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because that is very specific. That is one martial art that
right.
I know and I love. And I'll Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu your ass if I don't win.
Fuck you, you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I absolutely beat your ass. Like,
All right. Are you looking this up?
No. No, I
All
have
right.
your password.
my martial art would beat his martial art.
Black arts are better though, man. You like both of your martial arts are for like disabling people. Black arts are for like taking people out.
What kind of black arts? Like magic?
No, it's like black arts meaning like you kill somebody with like one punch.
I think this is a made-up thing, Verdone.
Yeah.
You just
What? That's way better than jujitsu. You like hump some guy into submission. or,
Brazilian
like,
Jiu-Jitsu is different. There's no
Whatever.
humping in
Okay,
that
yeah,
one.
you hump his arm.
There's no humping in that one.
Yes, there is.
There's not.
That's all there is. You're like you grab some guy somewhere and you just hold it for a really long time.
Well, that would probably
really
hurt.
uncomfortable.
If I grabbed you somewhere and
It's
held it for a
really
really long
uncomfortable.
time, it would hurt.
Yeah, and if I hit you somewhere and you died immediately, it's not gonna hurt, but the fight's over.
Yeah, but it wouldn't
You
hurt.
don't have
so
to hump
what's
my
the-
arm.
What's the point of fighting if it's not going to hurt the other guy?
Eamon, who wins this round?
If I kill somebody, it doesn't hurt them. It hurts everybody that they know. Or
That's right.
All right.
so it hurts more people.
Punishment. That's why, yeah.
I'm gonna have to say that judging on what I'm seeing here,
So it hurts
mixed
the most.
martial arts is one
Right?
singular martial art.
For the person.
Yeah.
How is that
No,
so?
no, that's not what we're
It
talking
is
about.
For the whole
I'm
talking about-
thing?
official.
I'm not seeing anything that says
That's how you're gonna judge
You're not
it?
seeing anything that says it isn't. So
That's
there
how
you
you're
go.
gonna judge it,
UFC.
like on like hurt.
Isn't really like
Then you could say like, yeah.
UFC is like
No, I
mixed
mean-
martial arts.
What is hurt?
Specific-
Mixed martial arts is a full contact
What is
combat
hurt?
sport
It's
that
all
allows
in your
both striking
definition.
and
That's all
grappling,
the
both
world is.
standing
Specific-
and
How
on
do
the
you
ground
perceive it?
using
What is
techniques
hurt
from
to
other
you?
combat sports
Right,
and
that's
martial
okay.
arts.
I don't believe
So therefore, it's a unique sport. Therefore, it should be accepted,
All right.
and therefore I win the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They should
I think I
suffer
agree with
way-
them.
They hurt everybody.
I think I agree with them. I think Daddy wins the point.
Can you catch up?
Oh, I can catch up. No problem. I got, what do I got left?
I wonder which one Jody's gonna hate more. You winning or you winning?
Oh, he's going to hate it either way. There's no good outcome for this for Jody.
Bias.
No, his entire argument was your martial art was not a martial art, therefore you lose.
Eamon's doing a great job. He's trying.
And
to
at least his wasn't very. It was very bare bone, but at least he made the point that it's kind of like a salad. So
Well, mixed martial arts is kind of like a salad. I'm going to go tell everyone that tomorrow. What do you think about mixed martial arts, Chris? I think it's kind of like a salad. It's kind of like salad.
what was more iconic, Julius Caesar or Napoleon?
Napoleon.
Julius Caesar. There's a. I'm turning Verdone back on.
Why did you even turn me off in the first place?
Because
What-
you two were talking about something. And I was like,
Oh,
He's
whatever,
a
man.
bias machine.
Julius Caesar for sure.
yeah, Julius Caesar has a Caesar salad.
Yeah, and he made the calendar that we know, kind of.
What does Napoleon have? That Neapolitan ice
Neapolitan
cream? I think that's actually called Neapolitan. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's not Napoleon.
It's not Napoleon. Yeah.
Learn to read.
Yeah.
Napoleon was okay. He's going back to salad references again, and at least
Who is?
Napoleon had a cooler last name. Can I go for that? Napoleon
But he's a
Bonaparte.
gay ass
He
ice
was,
cream.
Fuck him. He lost at Waterloo.
and he was
Yeah.
he was a leader during the French Revolution, back in the day.
They
so
beat his ass.
They beat his ass, but he was at the
They
at least
dumped
he
him
was a
on some
leader.
island to die.
So what?
yeah, he's gone. He would be dead anyway by now. So
Anyway, they would have both been dead. At least I didn't say he was a salad, because Napoleon was not a salad.
well,
He's more of an ice cream.
there's probably a
invented-
Napoleon
Guys, I
salad.
have a website here that says that
Invented
Caesar
the
salad was actually
calendar.
named after Caesar Cardini, not
The thing that
the
we
Roman
live on,
Emperor
the calendar.
Caesar
You know, what day is it? Oh.
Julius Caesar.
So, but do you have a website that says Napoleon was actually the leader during the French Revolution? So I think that's better than a salad reference. So, and also, if you need a food reference, there is an ice cream named after Napoleon.
I want to tell you something. There's a Napoleon salad.
There is a Napoleon. Well, I didn't even know that, and who cares? Who's gonna make the Napoleon salad?
It's a real salad.
There's probably a Seymour salad. Look it
Okay,
up.
so
Do you want the
Who's the
recipe?
wrong Caesar
I will
salad?
give you the recipe.
I don't need the recipe.
You want the recipe.
So
Why are
okay,
you arguing for him now?
there you go. My guy has a salad and an ice cream, and
So wait, what was your other thing? Because I debunked the Caesar salad thing. So
Well, listen, Julius Caesar has a Shakespearean play after him. He
does?
a haircut named after him. He's
there is.
yeah, there is.
Look this up. Look this up. Look this up.
I happen to know this.
Anyways,
I
Napoleon-
I need to know this.
I'm
Napoleon had
teaching
a
you. I'm
Napoleon had a-
homeschooling.
No, look it up. I need to see this.
Why do I have to prove it to you? It happens to be true. Don't be so skeptical.
Yeah, you never heard of a lot of things.
All right, yeah, I'm getting. It's this.
Yeah, that's a Napoleon haircut.
Caesar.
Caesar, yeah.
You don't even know.
Wow.
You don't even know.
Whatever I'm arguing, who cares?
Amazing.
It doesn't matter.
like Napoleon was the ruler of France. Like
He wasn't the ruler, was
I
he?
think
He
that
was.
because Caesar has a lot of things named after him, he's probably more iconic.
Yeah, he is.
I would say so. That was your question, so I win. Point to Daddy.
All right.
Yeah.
that doesn't mean he wins.
What's the score?
4-6. Which means that he's won.
But we still gotta do the last round.
Yeah, I know we do.
Just for kicks?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Wild card round. What is the worst way to die?
Oof.
Drowning.
Fire.
I agree. Burning to death, not suffocating by fire, but actually like boiling and like getting your skin crisp.
Specifically, being burned at the stake. I think that's the worst.
All right.
Not really. You actually die before you actually burn.
Really?
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Suffocation
Yeah, because of the heat takes away all the oxygen and fire.
and heart attack. Yeah.
Well, you can't breathe anymore because the
This
fire
is the
takes
worst
away
one.
all your oxygen.
All right. So why is drowning worse than burning at the stake?
Because I actually know it's the worst way of dying, and if you Google it,
You died
what's the
that
worst
way
way of
before?
dying? It's the
Have you died before? I believe it.
it's the worst. It's you just asked a factual question, and I just gave you the right answer.
Okay.
That's not the right answer, though. How do
No,
you
it is
know?
it is the right
How do you
answer.
know?
I'll show you. I'll Google it.
Can I answer?
No, fuck that, man.
Sure.
Drown you to death,
can
you just
answer
can't
it.
breathe anymore, and then
You
you
can what?
die.
Can I answer?
What
the
about
question?
like being alive, cooked?
I don't know. Can we?
You're being cooked
I
alive.
don't think so.
Your
You can
skin's
tell me
like
after,
flaking off, and you're still alive, and it burns and it hurts. Drowning doesn't hurt at all.
Okay, here's the worst ways to die.
Tell you why.
Top 10 list.
It's not the worst. It's
Okay.
10. Starving. 9. Long painful illness. 8. Having your skin torn off. 7. Listening to Justin Bieber. 6. As a virgin. 5. Under ice. Trapped under ice. 4. Torture. 3. Burning. 2. Drowning. Woo! 1. Buried alive.
That's the worst?
Buried Alive would be the worst, yeah.
not, man.
Oh, yeah.
Buried Alive's lame. Okay, so drowning came after burning alive?
Yep.
So does that mean you win?
That means I win that round.
All right, you win that round. It doesn't matter. I win anyway.
See? I won.
Okay. The worst is being burnt alive. If you could actually survive the whole thing, it would be the worst
We already
way
settled
to die
this. Chris got a
ever.
point.
Let him have his time.
All right.
That was it. I'm good.
Oh, all right. Just here, I have my own answers for the questions. I just wanted to read them before we end the show tonight.
All right.
My movie round was Ben Affleck and Batman v Superman.
That was your ultimate controversy?
Yeah. TV was the video game episode of Community.
Right. Digital estate planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music, I would have picked John Lennon because he helped try to bring forward a lot of things.
Right.
Some pretty good insight there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You dragged his
Sports, the 2015 Penguins.
Why? They weren't that bad.
What?
Which Penguins?
Yeah,
The
just
2015.
let him finish.
The 2015 Penguins were the worst?
I think so.
No way,
Yeah,
man.
they were the cup?
They did better.
Actually, yeah, they did too pretty good.
Yeah.
I
did
didn't have
really
an
good.
answer for that. I don't really watch that much sports.
That's a really
I'm
bad
Penguins
answer.
fan.
Yeah, you would have lost.
I should have won that. I should have won that. I picked 2015
For
Maple
history,
Leafs.
I would have uninvented the CW.
What's that?
Uninvented the CW. No, that would be awful.
What's CW?
No, that was
CW's responsible for Flash. It's responsible for Arrow. It's responsible for
Supernatural.
What? I don't know what you mean.
yeah,
It's a TV station.
TV station.
That is the worst invention ever.
CW?
Yeah.
I've never heard
It doesn't affect Kristen. Why is it the worst? It doesn't even affect her.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Yeah, Chris doesn't care either. Verdone doesn't care.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, next
So
one,
I win.
Next.
For my wild card
money.
round, I would have picked Super Mario Brothers 3 probably.
That was a pretty good game, actually.
No. Super Mario Brothers the original was the best.
Well, you know
No,
what?
that's not true. 3 was an improvement.
3 was an improvement. Yeah, in 3 you could go back as well. You didn't have to just go forward.
RPG was the best.
Yeah.
RPG.
All right,
Done?
we're signing off. I am the host, Eamon.
I am Dave Mader.
No, I'm Dave Mader. You're not
Make sure
Dave Mader.
you,
I'm Dave Mader. I'm the real Dave Mader. I can prove it to you.
And Chris.
That was
I'm
awesome.
also Dave
And
Mader.
Kristen in the background.
Kristen in the back.
I'm also Dave Mader.
No, you're not.
All right.
Those
Yeah.
other Dave Maders are just imitators.
The real Dave Mader please stand up.
Imitate Maders.
Stand
You know what my
up.
cousin called me last
Stand
night?
up.
What?
My cousin called me out of the blue last night.
Okay.
Natalie Mader.
Why?
Are you going up? Go up or in?
All right, we're signing this off.
Yeah, it got real weird real quick.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.